So let's have a political discussion. I'm going to explain to you why Obama and Michelle hate black men. Now, here's what I mean by hate. It's always something negative being said by one of them. It's always something condescending being said by one of them. And they didn't start out that way. So there's two timelines that you got to look at. Before the Clintons start influencing the Obamas, and after the Obamas have been successfully trained by the Clintons. The Clintons don't like black men at all. It pours out of their spirit anytime they even have these discussions as it relates to black men. For you don't even have to convince Hillary to say predators. You don't have to convince Bill Clinton to say, "Oh yeah, lock them up for profit." They they really they'll smile around black people. Like when you go to Arkansas, most Arkansas people love Bill and Hillary Clinton, and only because they created that airport for them. And they did some other little stuff, but they didn't do it for the black folks. They did it for Arkansas in general. And it's funny to see how, especially with the Clintons, they're in a situation in Arkansas where they give the black folks some crumbs, and the black folks is like, "Oh man, this is outstanding," and I understand why. I'm not mad at the black folks in Arkansas who do that. My family, one side of my family is from Arkansas, so I totally understand it. But let's dig into what came with the Obamas after. So Michelle came from a black father, a structure, what have you. But what happens a lot of times when these fathers have a daughter mindset, when these fathers have an auntie mindset, it makes the woman very anti-male. When you listen to how derogatory she spoke about Obama when he was just simply trying to get to know her. I know they turned it into a love story, but you hear the actual things she said negative about the guy. It lets you know the father was okay with a lot of the anti-male mindset that the daughter was having. Because Michelle is more mentally, I'm not saying Obama's not smart, but there are some dudes who are not mentally dominant. I mean, let me explain what I mean by mentally dominant. They're able to socially dominate any person. They can socially dominate. Let me use that phrase. You can be Einstein, but Einstein was a very insecure type of dude. That's just what it is. He wasn't socially dominant. Smart as all doors. There's a lot of people like that in tech. A lot of people who make money are very insecure people when you get them in a social setting where they just have to be normal and they're outside their bubble. Don't ever look at people who just make money as superior, because a lot of them are in echo chambers. And the only way they was able to get what they get is they had to echo chamber themselves off from the rest of the world. Well, which ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just, don't think that they're giants in a mental space. They just, a lot of them just not. So when you look at the stuff that Obama says, calling people pookie, I mean, he says this as a disrespectful joke. He came out here to Oakland. He says some of the most disrespectful stuff. A lot of stupid black men laughed at it because they didn't see it for what it really was. I mean, you're saying something negative. You know, you're putting black men in the category of gold chains. Who's wearing gold chains, bro? You know, you calling people pookie. You know, it's just so disrespectful, man. But what's unfortunate though, black men are gonna have to pay the Democrats back for a lot of this disrespect. So let me talk about the racist Republicans. The racist Republicans feel what they feel, think what they think, but at the same time, they're okay with a black man being a patriarch. The white racists, the Republican racists, because Republican and conservative is not the same thing. The Republican racist, he tries to punch these little jokes and tries to trigger you to respond to his bullshit, but then he goes away. The backstab Democrat is different. The backstab Democrat doesn't do none of that, but they smile and try to steal from you and backstab from you on a constant basis. So what's the difference? The racist Republican does it and they go away. The backstab Democrat stays close to you and keeps stabbing you. It is what it is. The Obama part of this, on why they hate, you notice the speeches that they make are very woman only. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird to hear the word woman several times, women several times, even trans once or twice? But you very rarely hear sons, nephews, men. And then when they get in a place where, like right now, Obama could be like the black Jimmy Carter. He could be passing stuff. He can go, hey, just because you're not president, you can still introduce bills like Jimmy Carter did. And you could try to help people. Jimmy Carter worked with the farmers after his presidency. He did a lot of stuff. Obama's not just trying to do nothing for the black man. Everything is for women. Women, women, women. And when Michelle gets up, it's women, women, women. Nobody's going to vote for that. Nobody's going to vote for genderism. Nobody's going to vote for genderism. A system where only one gender gets the benefit. Nobody's going to do that. And this is why you got to really... I think the only way Democrats can learn is if they're out of office for 16 years. To be honest, I'm not voting for Gavin. Nope. Gavin's going to try to run. I'm not going to vote for Gavin. I'm going to put these racist Republicans in office for 16 years. Unless one of them starts a war, I don't see the problem. If stupid Bush Jr. hadn't started that war, you couldn't say too much about the racist Republican, because his father didn't do a lot of harm. It was really Reagan starting wars. So that's the only time I see the racist Republican doing a lot of problems. Yeah, they say what they say, but if you saw them, you'd probably punch him in the mouth and keep it moving. So the racist Republicans, they just like to say stuff. But the back, man, it out for yourself, because the stuff that they do, man, is beyond weird. It's really beyond weird. So let me wrap it up by saying that I want you to pay attention when Obama makes a speech. A lot of genderism, a system of just women only. And then when you hear Michelle, women only. Tiffany Cross, women only. Kim Waters, women only. So many of these Dixiecrats that have women only speeches, and as a patriarch man, you can't do what these matriarch males want you to do, because these matriarch males are going to come asking all of you patriarchs for protection once the matriarch male gets betrayed. And it happens every decade. This C. Latray, man. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let's get that conversation started and see where you agree and disagree. Much love. We'll be talking to you soon.